before we do the experiment, I think it's important to go over the brass tacks, go over the methodology of the experiment. We need to find out some simple things before we even talk about the experiment. We need to figure out the location, we need to figure out the sample procedure, we need to figure out the data gathering instrument, we need to know what we're going to pre-test before we can do the experiment. Then once the experiment is said or done, we need to analyze the data. We need to do the data analysis. So let's go over this step by step. So location is actually one of the most important factors in the experiment because that is where our data is located. That's where the people are. If we pick a location with little to no people, we are not going to get good data. Hell, I'd be surprised if we get any data. So it is very important to pick a location with a high volume of people because the more people there are, the more results we'll get, and that can give us more accurate data. Let's go over a couple of examples, shall we?
The first place I want to start off with is a university or a college, simply because of the fact that there's just so many people here. Whether it's a student going to class or hanging out with friends, there's just so many people here. And for us, that's valuable data because we can just walk up to someone and say, oh, what are your thoughts on the best way to be comfortable during an interview? And they'll give us our thoughts then and there. And if they don't want to, we can just move on to the next one. This place just has such a high volume of people where we can't miss. So this one is just a prime location for us. Another top choice for us would be a shopping mall, simply because of the fact that the shopping mall has so much to offer. Whether you want to buy something, place to hang out, or grab something to eat, the shopping mall has all of that all in one location. So we are guaranteed there's going to be a lot of people here, and a lot of people want to give their thoughts for our experiment. So this one is another top choice. If we had to pick one more location, I would say a local downtown city area would be a prime spot for that as well. Because similar to the mall, there's just so much to do there, and people are going to come there to do those things. So a city is another choice for that. There's always people coming to this area simply to just hang out, explore the city, grab a bite to eat. The city just offers all of that in one. So this one right here is another prime location for us for this experiment.
We got the location down. Fantastic. There's a high volume of people there, and it gives us the opportunity to get plenty of responses and data. Now let's go on to the second step, the sampling procedure. Now, there are a lot of different type of procedures and methods in getting a sample size, but I think the best one for our experiment would be the convenience sampling. Now, we don't have the luxury of getting a large swath of people, putting them in a room and selecting people with certain attributes that'd be a best fit for our experiment. We don't have that luxury. Convenience sampling gives everyone we come across an equal opportunity to get asked certain questions about how they feel about being filmed on camera. What's the best way to be comfortable with that? Convenience sampling gives us that chance to get their honest opinions, and it makes sure that anyone has a chance being asked. But picking out a sampling procedure is only half the battle. We need to figure out the data gathering instrument. What are we going to do when we walk up to our person, our respondee, and conduct our experiment? To me, and I think to the rest of my team, the interview is the best way we have. Now, with something like a questionnaire, we have to write up the questions and the answers for each of those responses. What if the respondee has a completely different answer that's not on the questionnaire? The interview allows us to get their honest opinions on how they feel about the matter. Any question we ask, they can respond directly and honestly, and about how they feel about when they're on camera. What's the best way to get comfortable with that? The interview gives us that best chance to get their honest opinion. So we got the location down, we got the sampling procedure down, we got the data gathering instrument down as well. But the last thing we need to do before we even conduct our experiment is we need a pre-test. We need to predict the results we are going to get while conducting our research. Now, the best location to choose from would most likely be the university, because compared to the other two locations, the university just has such a higher volume of people there already present. And we also have the added benefit that one of the people we might ask has already been a part of another interview with another group conducting their own experiment, so they can give us their prior experience and give us a better answer as a result. In terms of sample size, I think 20 to 25 people is a safe bet for our experiment because we can get a lot of good results, a lot of good data from that group of people right then and there. But then again, with the university, that sample size might be heck of a lot higher because there's just so many people there already at the university. So that would most likely be a good pre-test for us to conduct. So the last thing I want to go over for the methodology is the data analysis. Now this is what happen like after we conducted the research. This is when we analyze the data, the results, so what we got from our respondees. Now all of our respondees' answers, they're going to be qualitative responses. They don't involve any numbers, anything like that, so they're not going to be quantitative. Qualitative responses, they're going to be unique to each respondee. Now with each answer we got from our respondee, we're going to categorize them into different groups. Some of them are going to sound similar to one another, others will be drastically different from one another. Once we have all the responses just categorized, we'll then look at all the results, and that right there will give us the best solution on how to be comfortable in an interview, or how to it's the best way to be comfortable on camera, anything like that, whether in public or in private. With these responses, we'll be able to find out the best solution on how. So with all that being said, that is the methodology for our experiment. We've gotten all the factors listed out. We now know how to execute this experiment perfectly and effectively. So with all that being said, let's have some fun, shall we?